Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta of Vanderpump Rules podcast, season 4, episode 4. Shay is not dead in a ditch somewhere. Thank God, we were worried.
But he's gonna be mauled over by
Gonna kill him.
aggressiveness.
There's so many thoughts. Okay, before we get into it, check out the A&M Podcast Network. We have this show. We have our Summer House show, Summer is Fun, and we have One Season Wonders. Be sure to rate, subscribe, review. I haven't seen any new reviews come in. Have you, Meredith?
I have not.
Great.
Which is disappointing.
But also, like, if it's a 1-star review, I guess, like, that's for the best.
And we're like a year ahead, so...
Join our Facebook group. Oh, yeah, we are. Hello from, we'll get there. We're from the past. Join our Facebook group. It's the same name as the podcast. A few people have recently joined. I'm sorry, it's been kind of dead. We're waiting for this new season, and then we'll have a lot more thoughts.
Or like some groundbreaking news.
Yeah, literally nothing's come through. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get really quick. In like a minute, because I didn't have it pulled up to the right thing.
For $1 a month. That's all I know.
I know. Okay, here. Okay, for $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows that we do before the show. And you get access to every episode that we record early, including this episode. So currently we are in August of 2021. The sun is shining. We are still in COVID, but not as much as we were last time you probably heard us. You are listening to this in 2022, so literally probably 6 months to 10 months later. I don't even know where the world would be. There's probably hovering cars, and we're living on Mars by then, so it's so far away. So think of how you could have listened to this episode before, and you didn't. You had to wait.
Don't make that same mistake is the whole thing.
And then for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after show, which is where Meredith and I talk about spoilers, because we're doing these episodes spoiler free. But obviously, there's always things happening, and we have a lot of thoughts, which we mentioned on the after show. Mostly, it's us going through people's Instagrams to see what the fuck is happening with them, and then making comments about their lives. So just like, you want that, obviously. And we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Jackie, Mariah, Tracy, Dustin, Christina, and our favorite, Danae. She's our favorite this episode, kind of, because we've been saying her name wrong, and she finally told us
she messaged us.
I finally asked, and she messaged us.
A link on how to pronounce. We love you.
We love you so much.
You get a special shout out for all the things you've had to deal with the last 3 episodes.
She took it in stride. She said it was funny. It probably wasn't. I know it's like to have people mispronounce my name. I personally don't care, but it gets annoying. Danae will never forget again.
For the rest of the season, we got this.
And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, during the live shows, we will ask you for your opinions. You'll get to chat with us. We'll tell you what we think, and then we'll talk about it on the podcast. It'll be great. And we pick a patron of the episode. So
who are you gonna
this
pick?
Week, our patron of the episode is Jackie, our OG podcast mom. We love her so much. She supports us through everything. She is our forever favorite.
Ride or die.
I know, she's our main bitch, and we love her so much. I hope
she's our Lisa Vanderpump.
She's our, oh my God, she's the Lisa to my James.
And I'm what's the goose who got hurt?
The hanky.
Yeah.
She's your hanky. She's my James.
No, I'm the hanky.
You're the hanky.
To her Lisa.
I'm the James. That's it. We got it. Thanks so much, Jackie, for everything you do.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's get into this episode. So previously on Vanderpump Rules, we're still wondering if Lisa will hire Brittany, Jax's girl, after she tanked her interview. James had sex with Jenna, but Kristen doesn't know. She thinks they just made out, and it's causing a lot of issues. Shay has been missing and hasn't been home and has been drinking a lot and was literally addicted and taking 5 Vicodin a day. So kid has issues. I feel
doing
so
great.
bad.
Doing
My
great.
gosh. Okay, we start out at Katie and Tom's apartment. Katie is here with Sheena. Katie's going to work on her blog, Pucker and Pound, which focuses on beauty and hair and DIY stuff. I've looked at it before. I don't know if you have.
I'm sure I have.
I don't think it's like as active anymore.
Also, when this was filmed, Stassi's not on this, but Stassi and Katie had blogs, and then this is not really that big of a spoiler, but Katie ended up turning this into like a lip gloss line and everything. It was like a big deal.
Yes, that's it. I don't know if they're still writing. It looks to be kind of active. It doesn't give us dates of like the last post, but it looks like a lot of their posts have 0 comments. So I'm going to assume that no one is reading this really. But it's a good idea. She made some bucks off of it. So hip, hip, hooray. Sheena's here to help be on the website, but she's really upset about Shay because it's been several days since she's heard from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is sad. She says like, she kind of talks about her conversation with Lisa and that she ended up leaving work a little early and how she told Lisa everything. She starts to tear up and, you know, it's clearly weighing on Sheena, but she's trying to be there for Katie and be her model today.
Yeah. And she finally tells Katie and Schwartz that she had a pill problem and she thought they had it under control. But just as she thought that the drinking gets worse, which I was like, bitch, how did you know about this pill problem? And
I don't know.
You helped him get it under control. So it's been like a hot minute since
that's the thing is, so
problem.
We keep getting more and more details. And a few episodes ago, we heard her talk about how the drinking got bad at Christmas, which was like 3 months into their marriage. We kind of determined. So by the time they got married, was the pill situation under control or like?
I don't know what under control is because later Shay says that he's been on pills since he's known this whole group, which was season 1.
Insane.
I had no idea.
We're in season 4. He has been taking them around everyone for years.
But yeah, I want to know what under control was.
I don't either
Sheena.
because this isn't a major spoiler, but in the next time on, or like in this, Lisa talks to her about not sweeping it under the rug. And I'm like,
yeah,
you've been fucking sweeping this under the rug for, it seems like a bit.
The fact that no one else knew means it was like swept under the rug super hardcore.
Which I understand, like wanting to get your stuff in order, but Katie and Ariana are like her best friends. So why wouldn't
there's
at least
something.
Like Ariana know about this little bit? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Sheena does stop herself from crying because it's time to take pictures. We meet Jennifer, Katie's business partner, which we didn't know existed, and Courtney, the photographer. Listen, Sheena cracks me up. I feel so bad she's going through this, but she's that bitch that like doesn't say anything about it, right? And then once like a few people know, it's all she talks about. So a few times she was like taking pictures and she's like, sorry, I'm not my like cheery self, or like, I'm usually better, but I'm like sad right now. And I'm sure Courtney and Jennifer don't give a fuck.
What?
Okay. Like what Jennifer's gonna be like, why are you? Can you imagine being Jennifer and Sheena being like, oh, I'm just like sad. I'm not my cheery self. And you being like, whoa, what's the matter? And Sheena's like, my husband's addicted to pills and has been missing for 8 days. I'd be like, oh, thank you for
look to the left now.
Smize for me? Give me a little smize. Like I was like, well, and stop mentioning it.
At the beginning, Sheena told Katie, let's do a lot of like pictures where I'm like looking down so you don't really see into my eyes, which the whole focal point was her hair. So when she started like tearing up, yes, of course, you still need makeup on because your face is showing, but
yeah,
you don't need to be your cheery self. The focal point is like the hair and the accessories. So
it was just like, I hate when people like sigh and then you're like, what's wrong? And you hope to God it's like I got an F on my test or some shit. And then but
they want you to drag it out.
People, listen, my mom, we have a neighbor like this. My mom will always be like, hey, how's it going? And this neighbor always goes, not well, and then goes into how a part of her like liver is dying, or like
Oh
her
my
dad got hit
God.
by a car, and my mom's like, oh my God, I need to get in my car and leave.
It's like
I
I
don't
was just
know.
trying to make polite conversation, hoping you'd be like, I'm fine.
Yeah, hey Meredith, how are you? Ugh, not good. And you're like,
Here's an
oh,
hour biography about
I
my
hate
day and
those
all the highs and
people.
lows.
Yeah, so Sheena's being that bitch right now, and I'm glad no one asked her what the fuck was wrong. um okay, now we go to Sir. Jax goes up to Lala with a nice, what's up, kiddo?
Tell me you're almost 40 without telling me you're almost 40.
um yeah, I mean, so Lala's still kind of struggling at Sir, but she's doing fine. And it's fine to Jax though, because Lala's nice to look at. So he asks her if she's dating anyone, and she says no, to which he goes, well, Brittany and I aren't really married yet either, so I'm keeping my options open.
It is like insane how much Jax is willing to put on camera and basically tell
Insane.
girls he does not give a shit about them.
My God, if I'm Brittany watching this after, I'd give him a little ring and be like, you're a douche.
Yes.
Fuck you for this. Then Jax asks if she's Mormon, and Lala is not, but she comes from Utah. So Jax then asks a question we're all dying to know. Do Mormon chicks use God's back door, or God's blind spot? The back door anal, because they can't have sex. And Lala, dead ass serious, is like,
confirms it.
she goes, yeah, or killer blowjobs. Like, it's so dead ass serious. I like spat my water out because I was like, oh my God.
I love how much Lala can play with anyone.
Yeah, it was so dead ass. It was
like
so
she knows
funny.
how to work Jax right now.
And to which Lala then cracks me up in her interview. She's like, I thank God I'm not Mormon. They're champs, because I don't want to do anal or give multiple blowjobs a day. And I was like, good for you, girl.
Oh, you know, it's definitely that back door, how to save yourself for marriage, but also
oh my God,
be there.
So then Lisa walks in and she's like, what the fuck is Jax doing here? Absolutely not. Get the fuck
Go
away
back
from
to your
him.
bar.
Tells Lala, like, do not believe what he says. Then goes up to Jax and is like, please stop flirting with my staff.
No, she goes, I thought you were in love with Miss Lingerie. Died. Literally died. I was like, Lisa, you can throw some good zingers. And she knows how to put every single member of her staff in their place.
Yeah. Because then Jax goes, well, every girl needs a little Jax in their life. And she goes, yeah, you have a little Jax that you give. And he's like, oh, got her. So yeah, so Brittany's coming back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still dating. I think it's because it's long distance. Jax isn't watched all the time, so he can do what he wants.
Exactly. But, you know, since she is coming, she still does need a job. Wink, wink, Lisa.
Lisa's like, well, she hasn't even hit 90 days, your trial period. So we'll wait on that a little longer, won't we?
Yeah.
And then Lisa's like, this girl is going to maybe move to LA for this man.
This man who is terrible at commitment, can't even stick with one nose, has gone through 3 noses in this year.
I'm sorry. No, listen, you shouldn't move for anyone unless you know it's going to end in a lifelong commitment. Okay. Do not move for Jax.
You shouldn't move for someone you just met in Vegas.
Yeah, no,
that's the problem.
1,000%. So Lisa does say that she likes Brittany. She thinks Brittany's sweet. So we'll see. We're gonna reconnect when Brittany comes in.
Vague.
Yes. So now we're at boys' night. Peter, Jax, and the Toms are bringing James out.
What can go wrong?
Even though Jax hates James, but it was basically him at 23 or 30.
I appreciate
45.
Jax realizing this. You know, like, I've been there or still am.
Yeah. So we're all hanging out at this table. They ask if Kristen's okay with James being here. The answer is basically no, but James doesn't give a fuck.
She's fine. The high pitched.
Yeah, she loves it. They've broken up like 28 times, which I don't think is an exaggeration.
Well, in the same sentence, he basically says, yeah, we've broken up like 20 times and we're starting therapy tomorrow.
To better communicate. And Sandoval is like, cheers to you, buddy.
You enjoy that.
Then we find out Sandoval and Schwartz are going to ask Lisa if they can help with the sangria line, because obviously Sandoval knows the bar industry. He's never had a sales job, but he sells alcohol every day.
He can sell any cocktail on that menu.
And then Jax asks what everyone thinks of Lala, and this is where my buddy James falls down a hole, because he says, and I quote, Lala is that pretty hot girl that wants to be a slut but won't admit she's a slut, but really is a huge slut.
Which I don't think that is Lala. I think she'd be thrilled to announce if she was a slut. Not that that's a bad thing, anyone.
Also, I think she would own if she's a slut. She'd be like, whatever, I'm a slut.
She's very open in her conversations with Jax about everything.
Yeah. Well, drunk James is a mess.
Drunk James thinks he's cool as fuck when he's not, and tries to show up for these guys.
James, my dude, you fucked up.
Mr. Flailing arms. And
I love Lala. How dare you say this?
And Sandoval's like, you can tell James is drunk. His arms are flailing. He's red and he dominates every conversation.
No personal space. I loved it. Good for I loved the flash of James too when he's telling a story and he's like, "Hey Tom, are you listening? Tom?" Take that.
If you have to ask that, you've lost people. Everybody, this is just a PSA. Learn your limits. Not everybody has the same one. It's totally cool not to literally be pounding drinks.
If you're gonna get that hammered, please make sure you're not gonna talk to me and I can just watch you from afar. Thank you. So now we're at Kristen's apartment. James is hungover and Kristen hates him. So she's going to make this the most uncomfortable hangover of his life, which I felt for James. But
I get it, but like you need these types of consequences to know not to do this shit. This is college stuff. Come on.
Kristen's doing that. Hey, James, you awake? So
I'm making breakfast.
James doesn't want breakfast.
Which, what hungover person doesn't want breakfast? I never eat breakfast. When I'm hungover, I need something.
I kind of get this though. Like some things are really unappetizing to me that I'm like, I don't want that for breakfast.
I want like a bagel or French fries.
I want French fries. I need like
grease.
Like I was hungover on Saturday morning and my friend offered me a egg white sandwich he made. And I was like, God, there's nothing that sounds like less appetizing.
I actually love eating plain pasta morning after drinking.
No, see, I've
like
tried
9 a.m. just some plain
I've
pasta.
tried that too. I need like a slice of pizza. Like just a fresh, greasy ass slice of pizza.
But I feel like this is actually really nice to be like, I'm making breakfast.
Yeah, actually, fries sound awesome. That's
24/7 fries sound awesome.
Fries. But so James yells about not wanting breakfast. He fucking cracked me up. I'm sorry. I think he's funny. Like, I don't think he's that good a person, but I think he's hilarious.
This sets Kristen off even more. And she's like, I just don't get why you drink so much. And he's like, I'm only going to wake for 38 seconds and this is the worst day of my life.
She's literally like, why do you have to get that hammered? And he's like, I don't know, Kristen. And
I've never had to deal with this, thankfully.
No, God. But this like parallels my mom when she like knew I was hungover and she'd be like, hey.
Yeah, but at least you can like walk away and go lay in your own bed. Like Kristen would follow James in this moment.
And like my mom has to unconditionally love me. And also I probably don't have the strength to like yell at her. I'd be like, please leave me alone. James straight up, I don't want breakfast, Kristen. Cracks me up. So then they do go to therapy. James is still drunk a little because
James is just not the best or brightest.
So Kristen's been going to therapy by herself and it's really been helping her. But she starts out this therapy session really mad at James because he's still tipsy. And he snaps at her and he's like,
I'm going to give her some room here because this is fucking annoying. If you're in a sense trying to save your relationship after you do know that he cheated on you and you think he just made out with some other girl, I'd be pissed if my boyfriend came to therapy like this.
Listen, I get it. But man, was it so funny when she's like, you're still
Hilarious.
tipsy. And he's like, get over it. And I was like, in front of the this therapist does not know what the fuck hit her.
They're just literally yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Talking every little tidbit, like throwing it back at each other. And the therapist is just sitting there, not even taking notes,
like
just sitting.
He retaliates immediately and is like, you drink a bottle of wine a day. And I was like, Jesus Christ, right? And she's
get
like,
off my back.
And then she's like, well, he cheats on me with his sorry dick. And then she's like, the therapist is literally like, it sounds like there's a lot of unhealthy things happening in this. And I'm like,
duh, why do you think they're here?
If we're gonna put it fucking nicely, ma'am.
Yeah, she's like, listen, what we really need to stop doing is the retaliating. And Kristen's like, yeah, I agree. And then of course James just keeps going, this little bitch. all the names.
Well, James says Kristen has hurt him so much that he wants to hurt her. So I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yes.
And she's like, what have I done? And he's like, you sleep with literally everyone, like Jax and Tom. And she's like,
which,
oh yeah,
that's not fair. I was thinking that is not fair because that was before him.
Yeah. But then of course she's like, oh, your feelings are not valid because actually that didn't affect you. And Kristen's like, I always tell you how awesome you are, so you shouldn't get jealous. And James is like, what?
James is like, all you do is parent me. And this is where he just spirals and every name in the book comes out.
And then we end it with my personal favorite where James is talking about how she hates James's lack of responsibility, and James calls her delusional, to which the therapist is like, remember, we're not supposed to name call here. It's I feel. And James goes, I feel like you're delusional.
Yeah, she was like, let's redirect our words. Let's use some I feel like you're delusional. And
then he goes, bitch. And I don't know why it's funny. It's not funny, but it was hilarious.
I just like the therapist trying to interact in this is the funny part.
You're delusional. Right words. I feel like you're delusional.
Bitch.
I feel you're delusional. Get with it, bitch. And then Kristen starts crying. And it's not funny, but it's funny. Man, it's James. It's just his manic, like, energy is so fucking funny to watch.
And like it's funny to watch them like course correct for 0.5 seconds and then immediately the next phrase out of their, like, both of their mouths is something the therapist told them just like a minute ago not to do. I'm
gonna compare them a lot to Jax because I do think these two are very similar.
Yes.
I find they're both assholes, but Jax is less funny because he gets more angry, whereas James just gets manic, and it just looks fucking insane when he does it, which is what's funny to me.
James has funny quips, because of the accent. The accent does help, but like Jax would have never said, "I feel like you're delusional." Yeah, I feel he would have been like, oh, I forgot. He does a lot of grunts and whereas James, it's just like so fucking quick. And it's so funny. Jax, when he's pushed against the wall in a relationship setting, would cheat on someone and then just like be the sweetest guy. Like Jax knows how to flip switches and be like really sweet and then like go to crazy. And then he'll pull that like, I'm trying so hard. And you're like, you're not. What do you want for me to do? And it's like, you tried for a week. Yeah, James has never owned to like trying. He's just like, why are you mad at me? James won't even try for a week. He'll literally just be like, I love you. And then he's like, you stupid bitch. I feel like you're delusional, bitch. It's just funny. It's good TV. Oh, I'm crying. So now we're out to eat. It's couples edition. It's the Bubbas, Katie and Schwartz. Then it's Tom and Ariana. And then Peter and Sarah, Peter's new girlfriend. Oh my God, I love this so much. I'm really in for this group. Same. Peter is so happy to finally bring a girl around because he doesn't like flying solo, but he also doesn't like to bring girls around until it's serious, which is the opposite of Jax. Jax.
That's why poor Peter, we were always like, he's so single. Maybe he was dating and we just didn't see it because he doesn't like
That's true.
to bring girls around until it's serious.
I'm sure he gets around enough, but doesn't make anybody his girlfriend after like a week of knowing them, like Jeff.
Because Peter appreciates us, and this is why I have a big old crush on him. So then we find out Sarah has a 4-year-old child.
Yes, which big announcement.
Which Sandoval and Katie are so excited, whereas Ariana and Tom Schwartz have never been so scared in their life that we're talking about children.
Schwartz literally says, I've never met a real grown-up.
I was like, you're 30.
I was like, oh my God.
He was with like responsibilities. And I was like, do you not pay any bills?
You have rent.
Oh my God.
Utilities.
And then he, in his interview, he's like, what's that down there? Oh, way far down. It's a kid, maybe. And I'm just like, this is where, listen, this whole conversation, I'm thinking, obviously I love the couples we have, but this is where I'm like, just mindset wise, Sandoval and Katie are more aligned and Schwartz and Ariana are way more aligned.
Yes.
And
but I feel like this is where
like,
opposites attract. Though.
Yeah. It's very opposite. Sandoval would marry Ariana in a second. If she got down on one knee right now, he would not even have a problem with accepting her proposal, being the bride, would wear literally anything she wanted him to, do anything.
Sweetest, like his little rant here, I love it.
Ariana says that's super cute, but she doesn't want marriage or children.
Cringe. Teeth smile emoji.
I hope we find out more about this, but she is not into marriage. She hasn't been since she was 5. She doesn't want marriage. She doesn't want kids.
No, but she does say she like loves Tom and wants to be with him forever. She just doesn't.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this. If you want to be with someone forever, would you get married to them?
Yes.
I don't really see a difference.
But I don't think if somebody, I do want to have kids, so it's the kids part that like would be difficult for me. But if somebody was like, I don't want to be married, I'd be like, okay, that's not a deal breaker. But
yeah,
I feel like you have to set your life up a little bit differently to protect yourself, like legally, in case you don't get married.
I don't have any issues. My one thing is if I'm going to get married, I'm going to have a prenup probably just to kind of like legally on that aspect.
Yeah.
So if someone was like, I don't want to get married, it wouldn't be that big a deal to me as if I knew the relationship was obviously like committed, like it seems to be for Tom and Ariana.
If you're like at the marriage type stage.
Yeah. But this made me so sad because Sandoval wants it so badly. And I was like, Schwartz doesn't really know what he wants still. He loves ultimatums. He loves deadlines. Katie loves to eat because she is just distracting herself because his bullshit is enough for her.
Some eye rolls.
Over it. Yeah. And so then we bring up, we finally changed the conversation to get Schwartz out of this big hole. Sandoval brings up Shay because Shay was missing from guys' night last night. Yeah. And this is when Schwartz gives his wise advice to say that he feels that Shay and Sheena are just not communicating, and that's what's really important in relationships. To which I was like, didn't your girlfriend give you an ultimatum after you gave her a fucking ring on a string after she told you not to do that exact fucking thing? After you cheated on her?
This sucks because you can see how much like they are worried. So they kind of talk about the issues they've all heard and they're all on the same page about them. And a big thing Ariana brings up is that, you know, Sheena really likes to put on a happy face, and Shay in a sense does too, that they don't really talk about their issues. So this is all like groundbreaking news to the rest of the friend group.
And they bring up that Sheena can be difficult to date, probably.
Yes.
Also that Shay's been having some money problems, some man problems, if you will. And so he feels like he can't provide and he doesn't feel as important, and that's depressed him. And Sheena might have a lot of anger towards him. So Sandoval has volunteered his tribute to help mend this relationship. Hooray. He's such a good guy.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm so happy because I feel like a lot of people don't like to get involved, like quote unquote, in other people's relationships, but like even like friendships, romantic relationships, sometimes you need that person to help facilitate discussions or kind of give you the push to do some of these things. And maybe he doesn't even have to be involved in the discussion, but later on, we do see Sandoval like get involved, trying to get Shay a job. He's just trying to make things better instead of just looking the other way because Sheena and Shay aren't bringing it up to him. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to try and help make this better.
Exactly. So now we go to Sir. Lala is nicely trying to tell someone on the phone that there is no reservation for tonight, and they don't seem to believe her. So then she gets off the phone and goes to talk to James, who is going to DJ tonight instead of bus. To which Lala tells him he's much sexier as a DJ than a busser, which she says it so straight faced. I do this with my friends all the time. Like one of my guy friends will get a new shirt and I'll be like, wow, that shirt makes you look really hot. But it's like very dry like that. But she does this, but also she's giving James the eyes because he's like been flirting back. And she's like, she keeps going with it. Like if one of my friends was like, oh, you are also sexy.
She loves some good banter.
I'd be like, yeah, she loves to banter.
She can keep it going. It's fun, but the problem is James is into this. Lala is just doing some banter at this, from what I think this is. Also,
the other issue is James has a girlfriend. So then we
not
find
a problem
out
to him. Not a problem to him.
She doesn't exist. Out of sight, out of mind. And she's not allowed in Sir. So she'll never know.
That helps.
Lala, we find out, sings. So James wants to do a collab. He'd make her sound fucking gorgeous.
I'm intrigued because we know that James DJs, but we actually never seen him DJ.
Yeah. I bet he's dope. I bet he just plays a bunch of like fucking hits. Yeah, like once in a while.
I don't truly understand
DJ James Kennedy.
I don't truly understand DJing enough to know if people are like good.
I have a friend that's a DJ, and it like kind of took off. Like I was like, "What a fun hobby you have!" But he's like actually booking a lot of shows and making money from it.
What a fun hobby!
I really have to eat my words on that one. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a good, like, kind of sway, nice listen DJ type. Yeah, like a suave kind of like, ooh, this is dope. He's not like the don't DJ type, you know, but that it's like,
I want to see what he does, if he does anything with Lala, because I feel like then we'd actually know if he has anything good with music.
Yeah. I think
we haven't actually seen it.
We haven't seen her sing. She could fucking suck for all we know.
That'd actually be, now I really want that. I need her to be bad at something. Hilarious.
So now we're at Tom and Katie's apartment. Schwartz is getting all done up and he calls Tom Sandoval because they're gonna meet with Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to dress upscale casual. He does a quick finger guns in the mirror before he leaves. So now we're at Villa Rosa. We see Hanky the Swan
back and better than ever.
So Sandoval is worried about Schwartz, so he's going to take the lead. Basically, they need to sell themselves and convince Lisa that they are great partners to have for this sangria brand. We don't know exactly what they want to do with it, but
we know nothing. I didn't even know Lisa had this sangria line.
Yeah, Vanderpump Sangria.
Well,
what a fun time.
Sounds like something they can step in on.
Yeah, so Lisa has an open mind. She's going to listen to them. Before we get started, though, we do talk about Shay and Sheena. Mm-hmm. This is where Sandoval asks for a job for Shay at Pump. So maybe like Sheena and Shay won't work together. But Lisa's like, no, he should probably get sober first before he like gets a job with me.
Yes, which I agree. Fair. Like having a job will not fix anything. I think having a job after he's clean and sober will really help. And I think Lisa would step in there and do something, but
But Lisa's like, why am I going to give this man who has an alcohol addiction, supposedly, to work at a bar?
Which when she said that, I was like, yeah, good point.
Okay, so now Jason and Pandora are here. They apparently have been traveling the world selling Vanderpump Sangria that we didn't know about. So fantastic.
I know. And Jason's head is shaved and the guys are obsessed with it.
He's very handsome. Schwartz is very attracted to Jason. So Sandoval takes it off, says the sangria is a great product. He banters a little with Schwartz, who actually his background's in the wine industry. We don't know if they knew that about him, but just in case.
And he always wanted to get back into it, you know.
Yeah,
always planned on it.
Sandoval thinks he could really push the product in St. Louis. So he goes back to
he's from St. Louis. For people who don't know, Sandoval from my hometown.
I'm going to give you his pitch. Are you ready?
Yeah.
He goes back to St. Louis like 4 times a year. He knows everyone. And if he doesn't know everyone,
his friends
he knows someone who knows someone. So he's got it. And of course, he has a reputation in St. Louis. So when he would order a drink like the Vanderpump Sangria, someone would be like, hey, man, what are you drinking? And he'd say, oh, my God, you should get a cup of it. It's Vanderpump Sangria. And that's the job he wants to be paid for, is a brand ambassador 4 times a year in St. Louis. Let's start with, why the fuck would anyone in St. Louis drink this rando sangria that probably costs extra?
Okay. I understand this a little bit. Whenever he first pitches it, I'm like, yes, that is, I mean, the 4 times a year is not helping, but that's a great way to introduce a product to a new market. That is what a lot of companies actually do. They basically go and you just buy all these random people the product, but they should be buying it for them and like having people try it. And he talks about how, you know, the great thing is to get people to try it at restaurants, but it's really about getting into people's homes. Like what he's saying makes sense to me. If he's
gonna do it in St. Louis, he probably should live there and not go back 4 times a year.
And like, I need more markets. Tell me you're going to travel once a month to a bunch of different markets. And basically that's where Pandora and Jason step in and say, like, you need to think bigger. We just got back from Europe, where we've been doing this.
Pandora murders me. She literally goes, we can't just push this in little pubs in St. Louis. We've got to think globally. Yes. And I'm like, yes, sir. Listen, the Bush
if he would have said, let me do a
shit.
trial in St. Louis and show you what I can do, that would be one thing.
No.
But
the Bush family already tried to do this and it didn't work out.
You need to tell me that you're going to travel all over all the time to be pushing this product, if that's your plan.
Yeah. And like Jason and Pandora went to Rome. They've been to Australia. They haven't been to St. Louis. I don't think that's a main market for a lot of beers unless you're the Bush family. But
this isn't a beer. This is the sangria.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah. Listen, Midwesterners love their fucking beers. Okay.
Yes.
This is some...
If we're going to drink sangria, we're going to go to some local shitty ass winery for an adventure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think like, where would you find Vanderpump sangria? Like, when would you be like LA or New York? Like, I don't even
Well, I'm sure like you could go get it in like your local liquor store right now.
Yeah, but like, would you?
No, I also don't like sangria really that much.
I also like, you can buy cheap sangria could see this that tastes fine.
Product in a wine bar in a lot of different cities.
In a wine bar. Yeah. Like,
so like, I have favorite wine bars here in St. Louis that like, if I saw that on the menu and like I was with people who didn't really drink wine, I could see getting a bottle for the table. But
also,
it's not some major groundbreaking market you need to break into.
Can you imagine being at a pub in St. Louis and being like, I'll have the Vanderpump sangria, and they'd be like, well, okay, we only have 1 bottle of that shit.
I'm gonna go to Ballpark Village this weekend and say that
Vanderpump sangria.
Tom Sandoval did his job.
Also, Pandora straight up calls out Schwartz and is like, we can't be having any breakdowns or crying and leaving. And I was like,
straight face. Woof. I was like, oh my God. I felt like this was like a teacher and a student moment.
So they get a homework assignment, basically come back with a plan and
come back with something better. We appreciate the enthusiasm and the interest.
Thank you so much, but no, we're fine without you.
Show me you're actually serious about this.
So now we go to Sheena's apartment, covered in wedding photos. We love.
Yeah, but also awkward.
Yeah, no, I was, bitch, listen. A, this is more pictures than a normal person should have of their wedding.
We never needed this many.
B, it's very upsetting that your marriage is falling apart and you have to look at these. Why don't you just take them down?
C, doesn't it take a few months to get photos back? So by the time they got them, don't you think he was in this state? He was already gone. But he was like raging on pills and alcohol.
Yeah, his 5 Vicodin a day were going strong.
Yeah.
So Schwartz and Katie are here. And Sandoval and Ariana show up. Shay still hasn't been home, but him and Sheena have finally talked, and time apart is not the answer anymore. So Sandoval thinks, or Shay has asked that other people be there, so there's a buffer, and he's talking. Sheena's like, yeah, Shay likes to talk in a group more than he likes just talking to me.
Which I'm like,
and I was
the opposite of every other human on this planet.
This is a red flag.
Yes.
Not great. So now Shay's
This tells me you need to get a therapist as your third party, not your friends.
A mediator, literally anyone with like background.
Just
knowledge.
Sandoval. If you need somebody there, just Sandoval.
A hostage negotiator would have been fine. First off, I want to mention Shay's parents do not live in LA. We do not know where they live, but
yes,
Sheena says he needs a support system in LA because he can't go back to his parents.
Yes.
I don't know where his parents live, but
it's even crazier that he left, but makes more sense why he has been gone for so long.
Yes. But they had to be close enough to get there after a drunk night that his friends dropped him off, right? Isn't that what happened? Who cares? Whatever. Okay. So Shay's here and everyone's like, hey man, everyone stands up except Sheena, who I can't tell if she's mad or not from her face.
Literally was like, wow, everyone greets him but Sheena.
Yeah.
That's what went through my mind.
Yeah. So then she's last because she says, save the best for last. And so, but like, not
really
like
quick,
that.
I have a problem with this because like he has to come to her. She's not like, I'm so happy you're home. Like,
yeah, she sat on that couch.
She sat on that couch
up.
And he came. No, I didn't like it.
And so he came over, they hug. He immediately breaks down. And then that causes Sandoval and Schwartz and probably the other girls to also start sobbing
so
a little bit. And so Sandoval's like, hey man, what's up? You're making us all cry.
Yeah.
Back. So Shay's been home for over a week. He's been going through some personal stuff. He got everyone's messages, but he just needed some time off, which the boys totally get. They sympathize. Sandoval likes to, opens up with that he's here for him and asks him about the addiction to pills or like what was happening.
He goes,
would he feel withdrawal symptoms?
Yeah, he's like, was it like serious? Like you had withdrawals? And I was like,
she's
oh my God.
Yeah. She's like straight up like, yeah.
I think they thought this was like
he just took a few Vicodin one day.
Recreational.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be very honest right now. There's a lot of drugs going on in LA. And none of it's great. But for some people in that world, it's like, I'm doing it recreationally. I do it with friends. I do it in these scenarios. So I think they still think it's like recreational use.
No, this is where Shay sheds light that his average was 5 a day. One day he took 10.
Insane. Their minds are blown.
10 fucking Vicodin. This man should have been on the floor.
That tells you he was probably taking one basically every hour.
Yeah. Also, it tells you how high his tolerance was if he got through that.
Yep.
That's crazy. So they're like, how long has this been a thing? And he says, the whole time you've known me, I've been on pills. And I was like, Jesus F, sir.
Which, okay, so like we mentioned earlier, he has known them for at least 3 years.
Yeah. Since season 1. Yeah.
Insane.
At least. Tom Sandoval was in this man's wedding. He probably hung out with Tom so many times.
But like, I was thinking back, he never seemed high, but think about it. Every time he was outside, Shay was wearing sunglasses. So you can't see his eyes. And it's all relative. True. Like if on the show, he's always been high, his behavior never changed for us.
That's true. When we've never actually seen him have like this breakdown that, caused him to go home. So we don't know if he honestly, and we
only see a portion of it. He's not a main cast member. Sheena's such a big star. You're focused on her.
You're right. So this is where Sheena does her little slide remark that I don't love. And she says, sometimes instead of paying bills, he would just buy pills. And I was like, oh.
I feel like Sheena's trying to
make them feel sorry for her. Because they feel sorry for Shay right now.
Yes. She's trying to victimize herself here, which she is a victim of this. Yes. But that is not the goal of this sit down.
Like the priority is to get Shay some help.
Yes. So like making him feel like shit is going to make him drink or get high.
Yeah. And this is where he's straight up like, I knew you would judge me probably because Sheena does. So he didn't ask for help or tell anyone. So now Sheena's crying because she didn't know she married an addict. And I was like,
okay, listen, I'm going to be honest. Everyone's addicted to something. Let's be very honest. It's just about how destructive that is in your life. Some things you're addicted to are more destructive.
I'm addicted to multiple things, right? I fucking love snacking. I'm a snack addict.
TV.
He loved
my cell phone.
Much TV.
Working.
Yes, addicted to all these things. We just aren't so addicted to it that it could hurt us or cause pain to others.
Or like if it does, like, listen, I watched TV way too much today while I worked. So yeah, did not really get anything done. But like, I'll be fine tomorrow. It's not going to destroy my tomorrow.
It's not going to hurt our health. It probably won't hurt the direct people around us.
Yeah.
Like, does it suck sometimes when I have to do something and not watch a TV show and it's only the only thing on my mind is that TV show? Yeah. But like, I get through it. We're fine.
Yes.
But this is fucking serious. Like, there's actual rehabs for this shit. There's no rehab that we need, or else we'd watch it.
But like the way she's saying this, like, I didn't know I married an addict. Well, of course he didn't. Like, he was hiding it from you. But also like this poor me routine.
Yeah, because then she's like, I feel like you're miserable married to me. And he's like, I'm not. And she's like, but you must be so
unhappy. Like, how, like, I didn't know I would have helped you. And it's like, well, that's not the point. Let's just see how we can just like move forward. She should be saying, I love you regardless. I want to work through this together.
And then she says this past week, she's been so miserable and lonely. And Shay's like, that's how I felt for the past 2 years. And I was like,
yikes.
Damn.
But she deserved that after the Bills comment.
And then she's like, why did you marry me? And literally everyone's like, hey, Sheena, fucking stop.
Stop.
This is why he needed us.
Yeah, that's when like everybody's like gets loud and is like, okay.
And this is where he's like, I'm glad everyone's here because like Shay's intimidated by Sheena. And the second he says anything, she cuts him off. And Katie's like, you should really take that into consideration. And then Shay starts saying something about how he'd rather be quiet than speak up. And Sheena interrupts him and says that that's not fair. And he should say something before it blows up. And she hates him and he hates her, to which he's like, I don't hate you. Also, you fucking interrupted him, Sheena.
You literally did the thing they were just telling you not to do.
So Shay needs to speak up more and Sheena needs to listen more. And basically that's their only issue.
Which unfortunately, Shay will never speak up more until like Sheena has to do the listening part first.
Yeah. So Shay doesn't regret marrying Sheena and he's so sorry for making her sad and for hurting her. And he wants to come home because he needs to. And they need to work on this. He has his mind right. So now we just need to work on his addiction. Sheena tells Shay in a very long rambling monologue that he needs to just cut her off when she's talking a lot, which Meredith and I need to be cut off too. It doesn't always work.
No, but
it's our fault.
It's hilarious because Sheena's literally doing a monologue about how Shay needs to cut her off when she does long rambles.
Yeah.
And then she's literally still talking. And Katie and Ariana are like, so
cut her off
now.
Cut her off
now.
Yeah. See, this is it. To me, this conversation was not productive enough. And
I think it was productive for the friend group to realize what's going on. Like, it's not just Shay is addicted to pills. It's like there's a lot more here that Sheena would never be able to tell them.
Like, I get it, right? Sheena is definitely a victim for this. She is very hurt by this. But addiction's an illness and she can't victimize it. She kind of has to be like,
she needs to be the rock for him.
She needs to like pull it together. It can't be about her right now.
Yes.
Which we know
when you want it to be about you. Because, like, listen, like you said, she is the victim of this. She can go be the victim with Ariana and with Katie and, like, complain and have that moment. But when she's with Shay, she needs to stop being the victim.
Yeah. So now we go to Pump. Lisa's here and Jax has brought Brittany back, and Brittany is in another fucking romper, which just made me fucking chuckle.
Yeah, we're back for another chance at this job. We're back in our underwear, as Lisa calls it.
Lisa literally told her and was like, "You're literally not wearing anything.
You don't have anything on."
Well, what was it? Oh, so here's the other kicker. Brittany did not bring a resume. Which
I love it. It's like,
is on Brittany.
Let's pick up where we left off. Do you have the resume I asked for last time? And Brittany and Jax look at each other like, what?
Listen, I don't know if it's just the way it's cut or if she really is. She's a fucking dumbass. She looks like a fucking idiot. She's like, oh yeah, a resume would have been a good idea.
Oh, Jax, we should have brought that.
Oh, where's my resume?
Okay, no. I get it on the first time why she maybe didn't have it. She probably didn't know she was coming. I get it. But when Lisa asks you and then you go see Lisa again, you better have that shit in your hand.
Bring the first thing. Also, now you know it's kind of a job interview-ish. So why are you wearing a fucking romper? The first
I'm gonna pass. I give her a pass on this.
No,
to be honest.
The first time you already passed her. This time, no.
I know, but Lisa didn't make any comments to her face about the outfit, and like, I don't know what it's like in LA interviewing for a restaurant job.
Oh my God.
I mean, look at the tiny ass outfits they wear at, sir.
Yeah, but they probably didn't show up in that.
Dress for the job you want.
She's dressing for Hooters, which is where she has previously worked.
Lisa said that at Hooters, she probably wears more clothes than she is now.
Yeah. Which it was so funny. She's like, so I worked at Hooters, and literally Jax is like, why did you say that? And I'm like, she's not going to lie. She doesn't have a resume.
I'm not going to lie to her.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. And Lisa's like, is that where you met Jax?
No,
he's like, no, we met in Vegas, way classier than Hooters.
Oh my God.
So Lisa basically is like, no, and here's why. Couples is problematic. We've already seen Jax with multiple couples at SUR, and none of them have ended well, so we'll just pass on that.
You didn't bring a resume. Like, thanks for that.
You're in your underwear, and you've previously worked at Hooters. This is where Jax is like, but you have multiple restaurants. And she's like, nope, one company. We
don't do intercompany dating. It's not in a restaurant.
And then Jax thinks that Lisa is holding Brittany to an unfair standard because she's dating Jax.
Of course.
And I was like, I would definitely judge any girl that would date you also.
Look in the mirror and look at your history.
I wouldn't have that in my restaurant again. Are you fucking insane?
Jax, let's go back to the Laura Lee situation of season 1. Don't need that shit to be repeated.
That was all to make another girl you were dating jealous. So yeah, it was quite a time that we had. Also, then you cheated on that girl you were trying to make jealous with her best friend. So just
so great.
Let's not do it. Also, you're flirting with the hostess currently.
Yeah, we already have drama going on, and your girlfriend's not even working here. So let's keep it up.
Okay, so we're back at Sheena's apartment. Oh, I gotta be honest, Sheena really angered me here. Okay, let's talk. They're making dinner with some Capri
At first I was
Suns.
like, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, we're making
Capri
dinner.
Suns.
I kind of understand sweeping things under the rug to like try and get back to like a routine.
Yeah. So
room together.
Immediately Sheena can't wait for them to have a house with a dining room. So oh my God, on the couch.
I was like, this isn't the normal I was talking about. I love that you're eating dinner together.
Yeah, maybe like turn on some like a TV show.
Let's talk about something not about our lives.
Yeah,
let's distract ourselves.
Sheena asks what he did at home, and Shay just says he hung out with his family and like people he's really comfortable with. And she's like, yeah, that should be me. I was like, and Shay's like, not if we're having issues. Yeah. Which I get. Listen, your family is automatically who you're most comfortable with. Not even if it becomes your spouse, but like initially I can't imagine ever dating someone and being more comfortable with them than I am my like parents, because like my parents have grown up with me. They've seen it all.
Like you said, at some point in your like marriage,
that becomes your family.
You will get there, but you are not even a year into this marriage. And Shay has known these people. I'm going to say he's 30, his 30 years of life.
Also, you're having issues in the marriage. You don't feel comfortable in that marriage currently. So you are not the closest person and where he feels most comfortable.
The safe place
No.
When you're also the problem.
Also, you intimidate him. He doesn't feel safe with you.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
So Sheena thinks they should work through this instead of leaving. And Shay says that Sheena's not the easiest person to work things through with, but they're both going to work on things, Sheena. Remember, we'll get there.
Yep.
And Shay doesn't want to drink. He wants to kind of like focus on himself, do his own thing. Sheena says we can drink when we're having fun. She's enabling his addiction. This is like the one.
I think this was in her interview. She's like, I can't be with somebody completely sober. Yeah, my lifestyle doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's not a reality with the life she leads. To which I'm like, but you're dating an addict. They can't eat, drink, or take pills or get high.
Especially at this moment. Okay, because I'm not an addiction expert, but like through reality TV, I feel like I've seen people who are.
You watched Intervention.
No, but like Teen Mom with like Butch. He says his little like, he can smoke marijuana and he won't do the hard drugs. I don't get to be the police on what you're going to do in your addiction and recovery. But I feel like some people say that they can, like, if they're addicted to pills, they can still drink, or vice versa, you know, like.
Yeah.
So who knows if he could ever drink or do anything again, but right now, let's do nothing. Like,
also, he was drinking while on pills. Yes. Okay. He should probably not do either.
Yeah. Let's get ourselves together. Let's not try and find this happy medium right away.
Also, you have to figure out what works for you, right? Like Demi Lovato did the California sober where she just smoked weed, and that didn't work for her. She figured out really quickly she couldn't do that.
A lot of people, I think, try to do that or try to keep drinking and not doing drugs, but like,
you don't want to cut it out, right? That kind of sounds scary even to me. I'm not an addict, but if you were to be like, hey, Alicia, no drinking for the rest of your life, I'm scared.
That would suck.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
But he's recognizing he's an addict, and he says he doesn't want to drink.
And she's pushing it on him.
She's pushing him to fucking drink. And then she's like, we don't need to get drunk to have a good time. Just drink till you have a good buzz. And I was like, I
was like, you think if he could control that,
we would be here? Yeah. If we could control that, would he be here?
She just, again, she's making it about her. Yeah, because I know people who don't drink and are very fun people.
Also, maybe for her lifestyle, she doesn't want to be with someone who's completely sober, but she is. And now she's got to figure that out. It's what's best for your partner through thick and thin,
not
being
so selfish.
Sobriety. Yeah, fucking figure that out.
But why does sober have to mean like not fun and can't do social things? It's not one and the same.
Exactly. He can still go out and have.
It's not like when you enter a bar, they say you either have to drink or get the fuck out.
Yeah, he could just sit there. He could be everyone's favorite DD. Maybe you also don't get extremely hammered because then he has to deal with that, and that's probably not healthy.
That's her problem. She doesn't want to be a considerate wife.
And then she's gonna drug test him, but if it's positive for marijuana, that's fine.
I'll give you a pass.
It's again too soon for this pass. He's really trying to go kind of cold turkey today. I know it might change tomorrow, but right now his attitude is cold turkey.
And she said she's going to test him for like a year.
Whenever she wants.
Yeah, she said this in the conversation with Lisa, but like, this is when I want to bring it up because that does not build trust with your partner. I get like, maybe testing him this one time when he comes back and it's like, oh, have you been sober? Or like, do you mind if I check? And then from there, it's like, it's his path. Like if you are going to drug test him whenever you want, you're basically becoming his mom.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're not his mother. Like a lot of moms will do this, but like I had a friend whose mom would breathalyze her whenever she got home.
Oh my God.
But like, that's your mom, right?
Yeah.
And, like you're underage, you're not supposed to be drinking or like whatever it is. This is
you're creating a dynamic where like, he is going to continue to be intimidated by you.
Yeah. Because you're making it like, you should be intimidated by your parents. You shouldn't be intimidated by your spouse.
Yeah.
So this is like, if I was Shay, I'd be really frustrated by this whole conversation and the drug test.
It seems like the judgmental relationship they're still in.
Yeah. So then we go to Pump. Sheena's here to talk to Lisa. We also see Eric, who everyone hates. What's up, Eric? So Sheena's doing better emotionally. Her and Shay had a good breakthrough conversation, and Lisa's basically like, something needs to be done.
Yes.
Can't just like push it under the rug right now. And Sheena's like, yeah, but he doesn't need rehab. We're fine.
I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know that?
She goes, Shay wasn't taking like 5 to 15 a day. And I was like, or she wasn't taking 10 to 15 pills a day. And I was like, he has taken like 10 a day though. Like,
yeah.
Also, the problem, I'm not binge watching 10 to 15 hours of TV a day, but I know I still have a problem because I do it every day and I do it as much as I can.
I don't think the amount tells you how much of a problem it is. I feel like it's how much it's truly affecting your life, or if you can or cannot stop doing it.
Yeah, like Shay doesn't have a good marriage right now. He doesn't have a life. He doesn't have a job. He's not happy. Like these are all things that have impacted him negatively.
Made him drink more. Like if I think it's beneficial. So if you guys can afford it, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But if he wants to go, if you can afford it, I think that's it.
So now Sheena tells Lisa that she drug tests him, and Lisa's like, you need to get with this shit, because this shit is not some good shit you're with right now.
Yeah. And Lisa makes it clear that she thinks Sheena's sweeping everything under the rug and tells her to pull back that rug and get everything out of there.
Honestly, the most problematic thing for me was her being like, you don't have to be sober. You can get a buzz and just not get drunk. And I was like, the problems with that statement is insane.
You're enabling him.
So next time, it looks like James breaks up with Kristen and possibly hooks up with Lala. Jax gets upset about this and tries to sabotage James. Kristen gets involved and tells Lala that James has been talking shit. Sheena doesn't think Shay will ever fuck up again. And Jax has milk that's lasted longer than that marriage.
Yikes, we're getting to Kim K and Chris Humphries territory.
72 days. So I think it's funny. We all know exactly how long that marriage lasted. So who are we accepting? Who are we blocking this episode?
Do we just want to start off with blocking?
Yeah, who do you want to block?
Sheena, of course.
Yeah, same. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So unsupportive. I'm so annoyed by the all about me mentality here. Like, this is real life. It's difficult whenever like these shows really are like very, very real and sad is the only word that comes to mind right now. But it's heartbreaking to watch and then just see how little, again, there's a camera on you. Like, even if you're behind the scenes manipulative type of person, like this is the version they're putting on camera too. Like, imagine what's not on camera.
I agree. I don't love she's enabling him. I don't love that even in front of her
Sandoval cares about Shay more than Sheena right now.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch, and I just don't love this. And I do understand that Shay's done a lot of wrong too, but addiction's an illness, and a lot of time you don't realize who you're hurting until it's too late because you can't help yourself. And I completely sympathize with people who go through that, and it's incredibly hard. And I couldn't even imagine knowing or being close to someone with an addiction, but man, I hope I would handle it better than Sheena, because she is showing no empathy.
Is like you just said, like people with addiction don't always realize like who they're hurting.
Yeah.
But like Sheena needs to be the strong person here, and she said vows in sickness and in health.
Yeah, through thick
and it's like, this is where you need to be the support system that you want from Shay. You need to be that for him.
Yeah, because he's going through a lot more than just like, now he really has to turn around and earn back the trust of the people he loves. He needs to change his mentality and how he goes about his day and through life. And he has to now decide if he's going to go out and be sober or not, and like make a lot of decisions. And like, Sheena,
but like, give him the foundation to be successful.
Yeah, like he's going through more even than Sheena is. So Sheena needs to be the one that's there for him. Oh yeah, Sheena, it was rough, girl. Good try.
Let's hope it gets better. Let's hope it's just the early stages, that Shay gets better, that Sheena can learn to be supportive and not maybe the center of the stage.
Big swing and a miss, girl. So who are we accepting? Hmm. I have to accept. I'll do it. My dude Sandoval. He is so nice. He's just so nice. And I thought about Peter, but Sandoval was just so nice. He cares so much about Shay. He cares so much about Ariana. He cares so much about Schwartz.
And Lisa, he's trying to further his career and go sell some sangria.
He is the type of person that does not wish ill on literally anyone, not even his best friend who slept with his girlfriend, not even his crazy ex. He just hopes happiness for everyone. He's the best. He's just the best. But shout out Peter for a girlfriend.
That's who I really thought you were going to pick. So I'm going to pick him. I'm going to pick Peter. You know what? He is so true about not just bringing around anyone just because they're anyone. Peter knows how to lock down this shit both at work and in his personal life. And he's dating a mom, which means like Peter, like to date a single mom, I'm sure is so like, this is probably going to come off negative, but it's probably so difficult. But like, you must be such a good person and like a flexible person to like be dating someone who has a kid and like has their shit in order for you to even start dating someone like that.
Yeah. And I think it's a change in his life, right? None of his friends have kids. None of his friends even want to settle down.
And he's excited about it.
Yeah, you know, he's excited to be
up for the challenge.
In this kid's life. He's excited. He loves Sarah. I love him so much.
I know. I want to get a lot of them. Like, I like stable couples. And again, like Schwartz said, this is the first grown-up we've ever met outside of Lisa.
He's never met a real grown-up before.
Never met a real grown-up before.
Well, it was a good episode. I'm just like excited for what's to come. I don't know if I'll love next episode because
nervous.
Nothing in the like next time on really grabbed my attention, but I could be really wrong.
The Lala James thing did. I just can't do off again with James and Kristen to go on again. If we're off, I need to be off forever.
That's true. I get it. Well, we will see. Okay, that's all I have, but I have some stuff for the after show. So join us on there. I know.
And then don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and join us on Patreon to get loads of episodes early. /Vanderpasta. Bye, guys.
Bye.